Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've got the Roberts name badge here off the front of the R600. I've given it a good cleaning with the foam cleaner. I've just got some wet, very fine, it's not emery paper, but very fine sandpaper. I'm just taking the finish off the front because I'm going to respray this one, so just want to make sure it's nice and flat and even. There we are. Let's put that to one side. Put the lid back on the water in case I knock it over. So, hopefully you can see my board here. As I say, I've got one pin broken off, which is here. And what I've got is a leg from a capacitor, I believe. Yeah, an axial capacitor. What I'm going to do to repair this, I think, I'm not 100% sure yet, I'm going to drill a hole, not right the way through, but into this part of the back of the badge. I'm going to super glue that little pin in there. Then what I'm going to do is drill a hole down through this one, and I'm going to glue that on with some, I've got some plastic glue here which is quite good stuff. I've used it on a couple projects. It is a repair power epoxy for plastic. Sets in about 5 minutes, so good stuff. I'm going to use that to secure the actual pin to the back of the badge. So I'm only using the super glue just to tack it on for now, so bear with me. I've got my little, not a Dremel, but it's a Black & Decker version. I've got a miniature, I don't know what you call it really, like a milling piece, and hopefully I'm going to freehand that, so join me while I have a try. Apologies if you can't see, but I need to get this done spot on, so some power on. Going to get it as slow as possible, it doesn't need to be big, so here goes. I won't do any more talking because you won't hear me. Let's get the light down a bit. Shaky hands. Okay, let's see if I've got enough to stick that in. No, need to go a little bit deeper yet. Tip is not looking too special. Maybe I should have used a drill, but hey ho, I haven't got a drill bit small enough for that. It's tiny. So bear with me, I'm just going to clean that. Hi and welcome back. Okay, change of plan. I drilled the hole, but really this is a bit of a too slack a fit. I wanted quite a good mechanical fit in this, so what I've decided, what I've found, is some thick gauge, it's copper antenna wire actually. Got a reel of that there. It's just for making up amateur radio or shortwave listener aerials. That's quite a heavy gauge, so what I'm going to do, I've tried that in the case, and it's it's not a tight fit, but it's not far off. Now I've drilled the hole, and the hole actually comes out right in between the O and the R of the Roberts there. So I've got to make sure that I'm back a little bit, otherwise it'll look a bit funny when I spray it, but the spraying will cover it up. So all I'm going to do is just enlarge this hole now, enough for this to go in. So what I think I'll do is I'll do that off camera because of the noise, and join me again in a minute, see how I got on. Okay, welcome back. So what I've done now, I have drilled that out a little bit more. So now it's a tight fit in there, so I just need to tap that in, but that's good to go. I've cut it off roughly the same size as this one. And what I'll do when I push it back in, rather than mess about and try and bend the copper and possibly snap it back off again, I'm going to secure it in the back of the case with some hot glue. So again, someone will be able to get it out in the future if they do want to give it another coat of paint. So I'm now going to mix up some of this epoxy. I ought to wear gloves for this stuff because I do get it on my hands every time I try this stunt. So stick some gloves on. And not only is it a pig to get off, but it stinks to high heaven as well. So here we go. To get the air out of it first, because it needs to mix evenly. Top's glued on, that's nice. There we go, right. So it's one of these two-part. You've got to squeeze them both out at the same time. Hopefully you don't get more of one than the other. Not sure if you can see that or not. Let me just move it into the camera shot a bit more. So just mix that up. Let's wipe that lid off. Put the top back on. Okay, good old cocktail sticks. The tool for this job. So, just a case now of mixing that up, making sure it's all evenly mixed. Epoxy does give you quite a good strong finish. As I say, I don't want to blob too much of this on there. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. Just using the tip of the cocktail stick to put the glue into the hole that I've made. So it's a fairly quick setting, this stuff. So what I'm going to do, I've made one end nice and even. Let's push it in. Just give it a little tap home. There we are. One pin. I say it says it's quick setting epoxy, but let's try that up a little bit. Probably leave that overnight to go off. I'm going to spray this tomorrow, so there we are, one badge with a repaired pin. Okay, thank you for watching, and join me again soon. Okay, hopefully you can see this. What I'm doing at the moment is just shaking up the plastic primer. I got my Roberts case badge in my third hand tool, which is going to get a good spray in as usual. I know, it stops it rusting anyway, but yeah, I'm just going to give the thing a quick shake up. Okay, I'm just going to give it a couple. That's better. Nozzle's a bit blocked. Well, that'll do for a first coat. As you can probably see, it's gone nice and white, so I'm going to leave that to dry for just under an hour,
Then I'm going to give it a second coat, then it'll need to dry overnight then before I can put a top coat on. So join me again later and we'll see the next coat. Okay, just back for a quick update. As you probably saw in one of the earlier videos, this knob was actually broken. The insides have fallen out a bit. What I've done at the moment, if you know where you can see that, it's difficult to see. I do need to set myself a monitor up, you know. So basically what I've done, I've just glued the parts back in with some industrial strength super glue, but there is in underneath, you won't be able to see it on the camera, but there is some gaps in where some of the bits are missing. So once the super glue is set, I'm going to put some epoxy, some plastic epoxy in there just to solidify that up a bit, just to hold it all together, so I know it definitely won't break free. There is, as you can see with these rings, with these knobs, there is a metal ring all the way round, which is a really good feature because that really strengthens it. You don't really need to have much strength on the inner piece, and that just holds it all together. So good news from Roberts on that one. The other thing I had considered doing was using this stuff. Let me zoom back out of it. I don't know if you can see this, but I bought these a while back because I thought at some stage they're going to come in useful for something. And what it is it's plastic, and I believe it dissolves in hot water, but the reason I haven't used it is I can't find the instructions. So it's like little tiny plastic chips. So again, what I was going to do was I was going to put them in there, soften them all up, and just push an old volume pot that I've got in there, just to let it form in some, I was going to just put some cling film around that, push it in, pull it back out, then lift the cling film out afterwards. That was my plan, but as I said, I think this will probably be a little bit less drastic anyway. So there we are. That's oh, just one other thing while I'm at it. I have also now, it's a little bit wonky actually, I have put in a new 680 watt 680 microfarad capacitor just down here. So that one is now changed for a nice Panasonic high quality one, so that one's never going to go wrong. Well, it will go wrong I'm sure at some stage, but not for many years. That's quite a good life on those. Anyway, there we are. As I say, just waiting for the paint to dry now on the Roberts badge, and I should be giving that a few top coats of silver, and then I'll probably finish that with some lacquer. So anyway, yeah, that's probably the next step. See you soon. Hi, and welcome back again to my channel. The dial glass. Now I've had a go at that with T-cut, but there is some pretty deep scratching. You might be able to catch it in the light if I run over it, but in this area here, let me get something to point with a minute. So we've got some pretty deep scratching here, and it's gone in quite deep around the tuning dial. I say I'm not overly worried about that around the tuning and the volume knob. Pretty deep actually, but I mean the tuning knob is usually starts getting gouged when the rubber grommets go on the VHF module. That starts dropping down into the chassis, and that drags the knobs underneath and into the plastic cover. So what I've got on the bench is some products that I've just picked up off of eBay. I mean, probably the main one I'm after is this one, the heavy scratch remover. So I'm hoping that this will do the job for me and save a lot of elbow grease. If I can pull the heavier scratches out with this, then basically that gets into number 2 then to
get rid of the finer scratches, and then there's a final clean and shine with dust repellent. So I mean, it says for use on autos, boats, planes, motorcycle and most plastic surfaces, so I reckon that's worth a go. So bear with me, I'll get set up and we'll give it a try. Okay, well here we go. Just some instructions off of this. Using clean soft cloth, well they recommend the actual cloths, a specific plastic cleaning cloths. I don't know whether they're any different than the other cloths, but they reckon that normal cloths will scratch it, so let's go with what they say. Again, these cloths weren't expensive. They're just like fancy tissue paper really by the feel of it. It's, I suppose it's lint free and it's non-scratch. So what I'm going to do with that, because there's my scissors, I'm going to cut that in half. Just use half at a time, because I've got to use a different cloth for the coarse scratch remover. So, using clean soft cloth, apply number 3 with firm back and forth strokes at a right angle to the scratches. And basically keep continuing until only fine scratches remain. Then I've got to remove all the polish and apply number 2. Applying over number 2. So, good shape. Got you in close here, so hopefully you can see okay. Let's pop a little bit on the cloth. So, as I say, I've got some major scratching around the volume and tone controls. Volume and tone? Volume and tuning controls. Must be getting tired. Anyway, let's stick that on and vigorously in the 90 degrees to the scratch. Smells nice. Still see the scratches on this big lump that's out. It's getting better by the looks of it. Could just be a case of a lot of elbow grease again. Anyway, I won't bore you with this too much, but you get the gist. I'm just going to go at that now for another 10-15 minutes and see what I can get the finish down to. Join me again for number 2, fine scratch remover. Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see, the primer's nicely set now, all bone dry. So I'm now going to pop some top coat on. Now I'm using this stuff. As you can see by the lid, it's a real shiny chrome.
but I don't know what they used to paint that lid, but it certainly isn't what comes out the nozzle. So this is about as good as it can get. I've tried a few different chrome paints, and this is about the best one that I've found so far. Just give it a bit of a shake. A couple tests. I'm just going to give it some light coats. There we go. Starting to look chrome already. Let's get in a little bit closer there. I'm sure you can see that. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll pop another one coat on that. Then when it's all dry, I'm going to finish up with a coat of clear. So join me again while I pop the clear on a little bit later today. Thanks for joining me. Right, continuing on with this polishing. You probably won't be able to see this on camera, but that first application of number 3, when I've really gone to town on the 2 big gouges in the glass, which obviously something had fallen on that, but that's got that up to barely noticeable. Around the actual control knobs, where it's actually dug into it, again, I could be forever trying to get that out. The easiest way probably to do that would have been to get some emery paper or something, some wet and dry, sand it down and then polish it back up with this. So that would have been an option if it was on show, but it's not. So as I say, that first lot has got rid of all the little hand scratches and everything. It's looking pretty good now. What I'm going to do is go now with number 2, which is the fine scratch remover. So this will basically get rid of the scratches that number 3 left on, and then I'm going to finish off with number 1 for the final cleanup. So just giving this a bit of a shake up. Again, this is apply polish in a circular motion until dry, then buff with a clean cloth. So let's go with this then. Ooh, and it's a bit horrible mushroomy colour. Right, so go all over this, see what sort of finish we can get on it. Very time consuming this, but it is worth it because these dials can come up like brand new. I've done them with a teacup before and it can take hours, but it's well worth it. You notice I put a bit of cloth in behind here now as well. So what I was finding was with this green hard plastic surface, it was rubbing on the back panel. What I don't want to do is lose any of that numbering at all. Well, it's me talking and I've let it dry now. Let's just give that a shine off, see how we're doing. Oh wow, that is good. I'm going to give it one more go because, you know, that's what I'm like, a bit of a perfectionist. No, I'm impressed with this liquid, brilliant. Note to self, new chair required. This one is way too squeaky for filming. So I'm just going to go round, give this a good buff up now. Circular motions to get all the finer scratches out. lady downstairs, you can hear. She You'll be pleased to know she's on the video. Anyway, let's give that a clean up. Well, as I say, I'm pretty impressed with that. And that took me probably half the time it normally would. Still some polishing compound in the holes, but I don't know if you can see if I can get a bit of light shining across it for you. Where are we? That's pretty good. Let's see how close I can get you in here before it comes out of focus. Let's have a look. Come on, a bit closer. A bit closer. Come on. That's about it. So say, where are we? You can still see there's some marking around the knobs there. I reckon I could get that out with some emery paper, going over the different grades of it again. But the rest of the dial, I mean, there's those couple of pitted pieces are in here somewhere, but you can't really hardly see it now. The other side there, look, you can just about see where the knob's dug in. But once the radio's back, you can't see that because it's actually underneath the knobs, so I'm not overly concerned about that, to be honest. You know, if anyone else wants to purchase this at some stage and give it a go themselves, I'm sure they could even improve on that. But just the final stage then is, I don't know how I could get it a lot better, to be honest, but I have got another one. Number 1, plastic, clean and shine. Let's go back out a bit. So this one, shake well, apply light mist of polish, spread evenly over the entire surface, buff with a clean, soft lint 3 cloth. What I'm going to do first though is I'm going to quickly wipe the old polish off with a bit of water and just in the holes where all the components go through, all the knobs come out. Just got a bit of blue paper, just going to go inside those, get rid of the polish, especially that one's quite full with it. Fiddly, but you know, it's worth doing. If you want to do something, you might as well do it right. Fingers on the back now. So what I'm using is a damp bit of tissue paper here, really, this blue roll stuff. So do these top pieces. Doesn't say to do this, but it's just common sense really, I suppose. Not that I've got a lot of that, but okay, there we are. So I've got it all clean now. So, apply light mist of polish, buff with a clean, soft, lint-free cloth. So what I'll do is I'll take one of my other cloths out here to buff it up with. I'll keep this one as my buffing clothlet. Okay, so look, they're shaking, aren't they? I'm sure they just want to see you doing the shaking motions. Okay, causes eye and skin irritation. Wear protective gloves and eye protection. Alright, let's get some gloves on then. I'm not going to chance messing with that stuff. It's doctor time again. Lucky I've got a few boxfuls of these gloves. Last thing we want is skin irritations. Right, apply light mist polish, spread evenly over entire surface. Assuming they mean apply it to the thing you're doing. I wouldn't say that was a light mist, but still a little bit of residue left from the other polishes, I think, but yeah, that has brought it up nice, I must admit. That is one shiny dial plate. Dial plate? It's not really a dial plate, is it? So. Yes, give that a little bit there. Give that another little tiny squirt in that corner. It's a bit better. Nice. I could have taken these plugs off of the these, but I was afraid I'd damage the finish too much, so I've left them on. They do come off. If you're any good with those captive washers, which will ping right across the room here. Right, there we have it. Pretty good. I could spend hours doing that because I'm a fussy git, but you know, that's going to look smart back on. So there we go. That is the dark glass done. Oh, looks like I've sprayed it all over here as well. Oh well, we buff that up as well. It's plastic after all. So the dark cord does get in the way a fair bit with these.
There we go, even buff the dial plate up as well, the back plate. Just an update on the knob situation. Doesn't sound good, does it? The knob situation. Oh my god. Right. Yes. How close can I go? That's about it. Let's come back out a fraction. So as you can see, this is all back together. I've got the D shape still in there. I'm probably going to do a little bit of fettling on that with my little multi-tool, just to make sure it's a good fit. I would think at the moment it's a pretty tight fit, to be fair. And, yeah, so that just need a little bit going, but that's a goer, that one. Simon Spires has kindly offered to send me a knob for my other radio, which I showed you in a previous video. It's in need of restoration. I have managed to get a handle for that one as well, so that's brilliant news. Anyway, there we are, so that's that knob done. What I will do to finish these off is I just tend to use a bit of this, and this works amazing on aluminium. So you can see at the moment there that it's going to light up a bit out of the way. So there's a bit of a shine on it. Yeah, it's not bad, that one. But you give it a go with a bit of this wadding stuff. You can see there. Let's give it a rub till it starts going black colour. And these do come up like mirrors. So you know it's gone a bit black now, and I've got black, sort of dulled it up a bit, but get a bit of polishing cloth really. Where's my polishing cloths going? Okay, we've got the my knob polishing cloths. And I don't know if you can tell the difference, but that is literally, that took seconds, and that is, you can see that there. Yeah, so it doesn't take much to clean these up. Again, go around the outside edge as well. Let's get the camera down a little bit while it's me moving, I think, isn't it? Oh, I've dropped my padding out. No, I haven't. So yeah, do around the edge as well, and it is good to wear gloves with these because it does stink. This does remove any grime as well, this stuff. I mean, there's various different brand names on it, get what you can get really, but it's the wadding that you want, not the liquid product. The liquid product does the same thing, but it's just a bit messy. You've got to wash everything, and I find this far better. Final finish off there. So again, get my knob cloth on it. See, it does leave a fair bit of muck on the cloth as well. Oh wow. There you go. That is job done. See if I can find the other one. 1/6s. Messy bench again, but there you go. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see the before and after. I don't know how well that will show up on the camera. See, this is the one that's been cleaned, and that is the, no, too much light maybe. You should be able to see a difference there. I certainly can from here anyway. So let's do this one as well. This is the one without the D in it, the tuning knob. So again, give it a good go. I did have a radio back along that these are all scratched and scuffed, and I did get them looking like this eventually, but I had to use my little multi-tool and emery paper and wet and dry and a lot of polishing to get them back how they should have been. Go around the edges with it. Okay, knob cloth. So what you're basically doing is just taking the oxidization off with this stuff. So I think once you've done this, you'll probably find you'll have to keep polishing them, or you can put a coat of clear lacquer over the top. I think I prefer personally to just clean them, but clear lacquer is a good option if you don't want to have any maintenance. There we go. Both shiny. Yeah, it also works with the little buttons on top. If you've got the silver caps on the buttons, it works with that as well. There we are. I've just got to put a coat of clear now on the name badge. Then the case is finished. Job done. So say I'll just quickly show you that, and then that'll be this video done. Then the next video will be the reassembly and final reveal. So join me back doing a bit of spraying. See you in a minute. Okay, welcome back to my kitchen, aka spray booth. Ooh, where are we? So this is the Roberts logo now after two coats of, well, two coats of primer and 2 coats of the silvery type chrome paint. So I'm now going to stick some lacquer on top of that. So I just thought I'd get you in and have a look prior. I'll put you back down and get spraying. Okay, we're back with the Roberts badge after coat number 2 of the clear coat. I originally thought that I'd done something to it, but there's a nice shine on that now. Quite a nice colour. What obviously happens is as soon as you put a clear coat on, the colour darkens anyway, so it's gone a deeper sort of silver really, which is quite nice. I'm quite happy with that. Anyway, that's it for now. All the parts are done. As I say, the next video will be putting it all back together and the final reveal of the finished product. So wish me luck. Catch you again soon.